So after that admittedly dramatic and really fucking cool intro, we get told off by this old guy, presumably our caretaker Simon, telling us that we shouldn't go in the streets dressing like a dirty commoner playing card games because there's a fucking card printing press somewhere in ancient Egypt or some shit. This is an introduction to the visual novel style segments, and we can run away or keep listening to Simon prattle. We're gonna listen to him prattle on first so that way you can see what'll happen. He just won't fucking stop talking, telling us what to do, like an old man. Look at him, he's already dressed like a mummy. He might already be dead. His skin's blue and shit too. People don't have goddamn blue skin. You overindulge, Simon. You overindulge in your power over me as a teenager, and I will rebel. Eventually I will rebel, because right now we're role-playing as a complete pussy who stands here and listens to him bitch at us until we go to bed like a good boy. So that's what happens if we decide to be Simon's bitch, but of course we're going to run away instead, so that way we can go play card games with people. Damn right I'm gone. I left as soon as you started talking, old man. I don't got time for your shit, life's short. This is an introduction to the world map in the visual novel segments, and there's a lot of shit we can do, a lot of optional dialogue and stuff to miss, like this dialogue right here when we try to go to the shrine. This pissy mage tells us that we can't enter because we're a commoner, which must mean our disguise is working. This is probably how we test to see if it works in the first place, if the mages can't recognize our appearance, because we're just dressed up too good. Now let's go to the card shop, because there's a card shop in ancient Egypt for some fucking reason. So in spite of the name, the card shop doesn't let you buy cards. No, that would be too fucking simple. We've already discussed how you buy cards in this game. All those booster packs back there, those are just for display purposes. You can't have any of those. Alright, let's go to the town plaza. I'm going to have to disagree with ourselves. How can there be a lot of people at the town plaza, but also nothing of interest? Anyway, if we go back to the palace, we'll find Simon still there. And it'll say it's really late, but we were only gone for like 5 fucking minutes. Was it already starting to turn late when we left? Anyway, this is one of the easiest duels to miss in the game, because you wouldn't fucking think to come back here and talk to him again, otherwise he'll just drag your ass to bed. But no, this time he challenges you to a duel to teach you a lesson about the heart of the cards. You know, he shouldn't say if he were us or tell us what to do or how things would be if he were in our shoes, because he's not us. And of course we're gonna duel his ass. Yeah, you may have taught me the game, old man, but your techniques are as outdated as your blue-ass face. Okay, cool, it's time to introduce what I built this deck around. I built this deck around a theme. And the theme is traditional binary gender females. Because that's how this game works. The fusions don't always fucking make sense, like when you fuse a thunder with a dragon and get a thunder dragon. No, there are a lot of cards you need to fuse with chicks to make more powerful chicks. Because that's how the game fucking works. In addition to the primary theme of fusion chicks with monsters, we also have birds. Use a bird with a fire type, you get Crimson Sunbird, which just looks like a really angry-ass chicken. Now let's see what she looks like in 3D. I think it's pretty chill that her animation actually does what her flavor text says it does. Anyway, our opponent, Simon, has the weakest deck in the game, as you might expect for such an old fart. Basically anything with 400 attack or more is going to easily run over his ass, so this deck I built... Oh, hey, look, an equip card. So Dark Energy is supposed to equip to Dark-type monsters, but we can equip it to Mystical Sand, which is a Rock-type. Why? I don't fucking know. The scheme's rules are really fucking hazy like that. You can't have concrete rules like you equip this to a warrior or rock type or a darkness or fiend type. No, you gotta go by superficial traits sometimes. As is demonstrated by this chick-based deck we're currently playing. And here's the second chick-based fusion we can do by fusioning a beast type with a chick, which makes Neko Gal number 2. Where's the first Neko Gal? I don't fucking know. I don't fucking know where it is. I find it a little fucking weird that Simon's deck is the weakest in the game when he's actually one of the easiest characters to miss. It's not like any of the other characters are that much oh, we're done. You may have noticed we got Time Wizard for winning that battle. Yes, there are things you can fuse Time Wizard with, but no, none of them are interesting. The decks I'm using in this LP are made to be as interesting as possible, so don't even fucking bother. Don't bother asking. So Ancient Egyptian Teia's deck is pretty shitty. I would know. I grinded against it over 200 times. Anything with over 500 attack will easily run her straight over. We're gonna start the match off by fusing Dark Energy with Dark Chimera, which, as you might expect from its name, allows it to gain the appropriate attack boost, unlike Mystical Sand, which also gains the attack boost for some unfathomable fucking reason. Is it because Mystical Sand is a witch? It's awfully judgmental of you, game. This next hand gives us 2 fire types and 2 bird types, so we can definitely make another Crimson Sunbird, and that's exactly what we're gonna do. This time we're also gonna see its 3D animation after we look at its flavor text. Yeah, that's an angry chicken if I've ever seen one. Then we're going to attack directly with Dark Chimera, and have you ever tried to load up an hour-long FLV file into a video editor and record commentary over it? Because I'm doing that right now, and the video editor is shitting itself. So you may look at this hand and think we can make another Neko Gal or another Crimson Sunbird. But no, because that's not quite how the game fucking works. Just when you think you understand the rules, it pulls shit like this. That's not a Crimson Sunbird. Hell, it's barely strong enough to run over the, villager number 2, I think his name is. But whatever, we're gonna see how it attacks. These in-engine character models are really damn good for a PS1 game. I mean, there's a reason we're not controlling the character models directly. But still, they look damn good. I'm sorry, we were in a card battle against ancient Egyptian Taya, right? Her name is Tayana, for some goddamn reason. They couldn't just call her Anzu. That's just too far, even for ancient Egypt Taya. Yeah, we have a second Dark Energy that we can equip. Not that we're gonna need a 2600 beater. In case you're wondering why Tayana isn't fusing shit, her deck has very little synergy, which makes it pretty fucking hard. She can fuse things once in every 500 duels, but it's really damn difficult. Right, so Villager number 1's deck here is pretty much just as shitty as Taya's, and it would be easy to run over even if you didn't have an optimal or theme-based deck like I do right now. So we got nothing to worry about, basically, but we're not going to have anything to worry about for this first whole section of the game, either. Frankly, I really like the visual novel portraits in this game, especially for the NPC characters. Look at that, we made something new. Let's see how Dark Elf attacks. Poor bastard never stood a chance. So as I was saying, I really enjoy the character portraits for the NPCs in this game. More so for the less important characters that are unique to the game. Because you know what Joey and Taya look like. Even ancient Egyptian Joey and Taya look pretty much the same as their modern counterparts. But Villager number 1, Villager number 2, Villager number 3, the mages, all these other NPCs, Simon, they're unique to me, and I like how they look. This guy's really fucking goofy, and you'll see exactly what I mean when we attack with him. We're gonna spend as much time in the early game showing off monster animations as possible, because later, when we have to focus the deck around a few key monsters, that's not gonna be ideal. Especially when we have to actually strategize, unlike here in the early game where that's not a problem. Even if we didn't have a deck like this. Fusing Hanwha with Soggy the Dark Clown doesn't actually give us anything, but I want to clear up some space in our hand, and it can't hurt to see how the clown attacks either. Strange moves to avoid enemy attacks. Do you mean block them? Because there's no fucking evasion in this game. Obviously meant for defense, but we're gonna attack anyway. Did you know the actual card game Skull Servant is part of an archetype now? I know that's pretty fucking wild, all things considered. Anyway, Villager number 1 is done for. This is Villager number 2, known to people who are new at the game as holy shit, why did the game get hard all of a sudden? Because Villager 2 randomly pulls out monsters with around 1000 defense as a baseline. That's just a general rule for Villager 2, his monsters have about 1000 defense on average. So if you haven't figured out fusing by this point, you're going to lose. And if you lose, you get a game over. Yes, it doesn't matter that this is a friendly match against a guy named Villager number 2. If you lose, you get a game over. That's it. This guy has my favorite fucking flavor text in the whole game. Single eye that fires an intense beam. Couldn't even be fucking bothered to spell intense properly. Alright, let's see how intense that beam is. Better be real fucking intense if it's spelled weird. I went into that fight knowing we were going to lose because, as was already said, Villager number 2's monsters have basically 1000 defense across the board. Or 1000 attack in some cases, as you're about to see. Flame Ghost right here breaking the pattern, having 1000 attack. If you don't know how to fuse by this point in the game, you're just screwed. Because nobody drops monsters with over 1000 attack yet. You gotta learn to fuse. Let's see how Dark Titan of Terror attacks. He looks pretty funky. Attacks enemies in their sleep, huh? I see, so if you're sleeping, Dark Titan of Terror just walks up and fucking decks you right in the face. I can see why that would be terrifying. That's how he got his name. Anyway, after you figured out the basics of fusion, and you know to only attack with monsters over 1000 attack, which basically any fused monster will have. I think the lowest fused monster has 1200 attack. Maybe? It might be 1100. But anyway, after you figure that out, you're all good. 1000 attack is as high as it gets, I'm pretty sure. For this guy, at least. I love that this game has the audacity to lack a fucking tutorial for how obtuse the game mechanics are. It's not that the game mechanics are even complicated, they're just so fucking obtuse. As a child, it took me fucking forever to figure out what fused with what exactly. But I mean, how would you even explain this shit in a tutorial? Because it's not always about types, as we've established. Sometimes you gotta fuse a chick with stuff to make chick-based fusions. How the fuck do you explain that in a tutorial? Maybe like I did just now, curse words included. This time we're gonna attack with the basic blue-winged crown. Alright, call me crazy, but I swear we've seen that exact fire effect before in this very video. I know it sounds outrageous, but I'm almost positive. I love this alternate take on the Yu-Gi-Oh! Universe, where instead of battling with real monsters, it's just fucking cards. Just actual fucking cardboard. And the manga and anime, they're like, hey, did you know these monsters are based on an ancient Egyptian shadow game? Which doesn't make a whole lot of fucking sense either, but it probably makes more sense than them having cardboard and printing presses in ancient Egypt. Even if ancient Egypt did have such a thing, it would be reserved for the higher class. It's not something the peasants would have access to, under any circumstance. This shit would be a luxury item, for the higher class. But hey, maybe if you work hard enough your whole life, you can afford a single monster with 300 attack. Alright, so that was a wash, but I did say I wanted to show off as many monster animations as possible while we could. Villager 3 is a lot like Villager 2 in the fact that his monsters have an average of 1000 attack or defense. But that's no problem for us, as was very well established. Huh. I could have sworn that would have made Dark Witch or, fucking Dark Elf again or something. Anyway, you want to see a living curtain attack? Who doesn't want to see a living curtain attack? I know you do. Sure, we're gonna lose, but it's a living curtain. Alright, so it turns out living curtains don't have a lot of oomph to their attack, who would have known? It's almost scary how all of these monsters have either exactly 1000 attack or defense. The fuck prints so many cards with exactly that number? You know, the AI's self-preservation skills are fairly minimal, and I would complain about that. But it's actually what's going to save our ass later in the game. Alright, let's go ahead and put Fusionist on the field. I don't know what the fuck that name's supposed to mean, considering this is clearly just a flying cat. I mean, if you ever wanted to see a flying cat beat down a turtle, that's a thing that happens in this game. Maybe they should have put that on the box. This game is not for children, by the way. I don't think kids can beat this game. I don't think most adults can beat this game. Unless they're speedrunning asshole cheaters that accidentally make the game look a lot better than it is. Which should be a sin. You should not be allowed to do that. You should be allowed to make shitty games like this look acceptable. Anyway, villager number 3 is fucked. He's done. I'll see you next video.